Okay, hello everybody. So let's start with the second part of this project management interview question. So the first, this is the second part of the PMP questions. So now the question can be, how do you build trust with clients, especially during transitions or escalations? So now, how you can answer this question? Trust begins with transparency and early wins. During a transition project, I set up a communication cadence with the client that included weekly status updates, open question and answer sessions, and a transparent risk sharing. When issues arose, such as temporary delay due to the infrastructure readiness, I communicated proactively, explained mitigation issues and measures, and involved them in decision-making process. This consistent visibility and ownership helped build credibility and strengthened the relationship even during the time of escalation. So with this, you can you can finish your answer. And the next question that can be asked is, give an example where you had to communicate a difficult message to a client. How do you manage the conversation? So now this question is being asked to you so that they can understand that what is your communication method and how good you are at communicating the problems to the client. So you can answer it like this. In one project, a third-party vendor failed to meet the integration timelines, affecting the overall delivery schedule. I prepared a fact-based impact report with alternate scenarios and schedule. I scheduled a one-on-one call with the client. I begin with empathy, acknowledge the client's expectations, and then walk them through the root cause, options, and revised timelines. I also offered an internal workaround to cover the shortfall temporarily. The client appreciated the honest communication and solution-oriented approach. So you can finish your answer here. So the next question that can be asked is, how do you manage multiple stakeholders with conflicting priorities? Now this is a very important question because as a manager you always have to deal with multiple stakeholders, and some of the times there will be conflicting priorities and one must know how to deal with it. So you can answer it like this. In large programs, I apply a stakeholders matrix to categorize influence and interest. I conduct separate alignment session and facilitate joint workshop to uncover underlying concerns. In one instance, the finance team wanted rigorous documentation while operations team prioritized the speed of the task. I proposed a phased approach, streamlined the deliverables for early sprint and embedding finance checkpoints in later phase. This balanced compromise helped keep both groups engaged and aligned. So with this, you can finish your answer because you have already shown that you can manage multiple stakeholders and manage the priorities. The next question that can be asked here is, what approach do you follow for stakeholders mapping and engagement planning? Now you can answer it like this. I begin with a par interest grid to map stakeholders into 4 groups, mainly manage closely, then second is keep satisfied, third is keep informed, and fourth is monitoring. I then define a stakeholders engagement plan outlining communication style, frequency, and escalation path for each. As an example, in a government tech transformation project, I used this model to manage senior ministry officials who were in high power, the operational leads who had high interest, and IT vendors. This structured communication approach improved the decision making velocity and reduced the last minute surprise for us in the project. So the 10th question in the series is, describe how you gather client requirement and translate them into actionable project tasks. So you can answer it like this. I start with a structured discovery workshop using tools like Moscow, that is must know, should know, could know, prioritization techniques, and SIPOC mapping to elicit and organize client requirements. I involved functional and technical teams early to validate the feasibility of the project. After the project is signed off, I break down the top level requirement into the smaller requirement, making the work packages in the work breakdown structure. Then assign ownership for each task and integrate each and everything into the project schedule. For example, while inducting a software, I translated stakeholders' pain point into user stories, which guided design and testing phases effectively. So with this, we have come to the end of this second part of this lecture. So for more of such lectures, you can like and subscribe to our videos. Till then, goodbye.